It looked like the push that was heard around the world has cost WNBA player Chennedy Carter her career.
Chennedy Carter's shove on Caitlin Clark wasn't just a foul. It was a career-ending mistake. Now she's facing the ultimate fallout, losing her job, her reputation, and potentially her future in the WNBA. It might seem like just a minor push, but here's the kicker. The Chicago Sky are cutting ties completely, not even offering her a core designation. Hard to believe, right? Carter went from being a rising star to being out of a job quicker than a fast break.
When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese, he talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
Chennedy Carter has always been known for stirring the pot, but now she's on her third team, and this time she's crossed a line no one expected.
When she took it upon herself to put her filthy thug hands on WNBA player Caitlin Clark.
That's right. This incident rocked the entire WNBA. Think about it. Laying hands on the league's brightest star, Caitlin Clark, you know you're in deep trouble. We're breaking down exactly what happened when Chennedy Carter pushed Clark in what turned out to be a game and career-defining moment.
That push right there was that right there, I believe, was the push that altered her career. And I'm telling you right now, it is not looking good for Chennedy Carter.
The tension was already through the roof as the Chicago Sky faced off against Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever, and everyone could feel the heat. But then, in a flash, Chennedy Carter took things way too far. She hurled a curse at Clark and followed it up with a shove, escalating the intensity to a whole new level. You could see it in her eyes, that split-second decision that would change everything. And now, we've got exclusive footage, never-before-seen angles, that reveal exactly how it all unfolded. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Calling someone the B word while literally freaking winding up for a cheap shot. Yeah, that has to be taken into account. And then, after the cheap shot, staring over and saying something before walking away.
You could hear the gasps from the crowd and see the shock written all over the players' faces. One player standing nearby said, "I've never seen anything like it." The look on Caitlin Clark's face said it all. Pure disbelief. "I was stunned," Caitlin later shared. "I felt the push, and it was like time stood still. I couldn't even process what had just happened." But here's the kicker. What followed is what truly sealed Chennedy Carter's fate. The crowd erupted into deafening boos, and the atmosphere shifted in an instant.
I knew then her future was not going to be very bright, bruh. Now, a lot of people was kind of surprised by this. I'm not, because I know, you know what I'm saying? What she did to Caitlin Clark was completely unnecessary. And I'm here to tell you guys, she's living with that decision today because she is without a job.
Now everyone's asking the big question. Did Chennedy Carter just shove her entire career off a cliff? In the WNBA, it's not just about your skills on the court. It's about how you carry yourself off it too. And right now, Carter's not exactly climbing the popularity ladder.
You're jealous. That was a Bush League play, and it needs to be addressed. That was a flagrant foul. That was unnecessary. Flagrant, anything deemed to be unnecessary. I need somebody to explain to me, why was that necessary?
There were some high-profile scouts in the stands that day, people with the power to shape careers. One scout shared, "It's not just about the push, it's about the attitude that followed. In this league, we're looking for players who can handle pressure and be role models. What we saw that day, that's not what we want in a franchise player."
With Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever
I
score.
answered no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
Kind of on the play before bumping in with Caitlin.
Now, as y'all heard there, man, Chennedy Carter let it be known she was not answering any Caitlin Clark questions. And I'm telling you right now, she probably wished she should have, because she's without a job. And
After that shocking push, Carter had a golden opportunity to take responsibility and smooth things over. Instead, when reporters approached her, she casually shrugged it off, saying, "I didn't say anything on the play before bumping in with Caitlyn." Can you believe it? No apology, no real explanation, just a dismissive attitude, as if ignoring the problem would somehow make it disappear. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In fact, it only made things worse.
Chennedy Carter had an incredible season for us last year, but in a statement provided by the Chicago Times, she's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level. In our league, we absolutely appreciate what she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and will make changes to our rosters. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but she's a star player, right? Surely that has to count for something. Well, guess what? Apparently, it doesn't. The Chicago Sky's general manager dropped a bombshell statement that left no room for doubt.
Chennedy Carter not getting an offer from the Sky means one thing. Someone influential in the locker room did not want her on the team. You never let your best offensive player and arguably your best player walk away from nothing unless there are locker room issues.
Whoa, did you catch that? The talk isn't just about Carter's performance on the court. It's about how she fits or doesn't with the team. And here's the kicker. Remember her teammate Angel Reese? Word has it things have soured between them. Reese even unfollowed Carter on social media. Now, you might be thinking, so what? It's just social media. But in today's world, that's a major red flag. It's basically a giant neon sign screaming locker room drama for everyone to notice.
I mean, look, maybe she's part of the culture problem. But that's very interesting. You know, I assumed, I'm not going to lie to you, I assumed the Chicago Sky was going to bring her back.
And it's not just Reese. Inside sources are spilling some serious tea, and it's scalding. Word is, some of Carter's teammates don't even want her on the roster anymore. Can you believe it? Going from a star player to being completely unwanted by your own team. Just like that. It's a fall from grace nobody saw coming.
They said Chennedy Carter not getting an offer from the Sky means one thing. Someone influential in the locker room did not want her on the team. You never let your best offensive player and arguably your best player walk away from nothing unless there are locker room issues.
Let's break down that brutal move. The Sky deciding not to offer Carter a qualifying offer. For a top scorer, that's almost unheard of in the WNBA. It's essentially the team saying, we'd rather have an empty roster spot than keep you. Ouch, that's a tough pill to swallow.
I mean, she can score with the lights out. I mean, she's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard, instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team?
But here's where it really takes a wild turn. Some are suggesting that this isn't just about locker room dynamics or that push. It's about the future of the WNBA itself. Think about it. Caitlin Clark is the league's golden goose, drawing in fans, attention, and possibly even better deals for the players. By shoving Clark, did Carter unintentionally shove herself out of the league? Now Carter's an unrestricted free agent, but here's the kicker. No one's rushing to sign her. You'd think a player of her caliber would have teams fighting over her, right? Wrong. We spoke to insiders across every WNBA team, and what they shared is absolutely jaw-dropping.
Wants the cancer in the locker room. Okay, so that raises a great question. Is anybody going to want her? Maybe that's the best question. I mean, certainly there's real attitude issues.
One team executive didn't hold back, saying, and I quote, "We wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole." Can you believe that? We're talking about a professional athlete, not some toxic waste. But it gets even crazier. We dug deep and uncovered a hidden clause in Carter's contract with the Chicago Sky. Now you might be wondering, what's the big deal about a contract clause? Well, let me tell you, this isn't your typical fine print. This clause made it incredibly easy for the Sky to part ways with her. It was like they had a built-in escape hatch in her deal. But here's the real kicker. Why was this clause even there in the first place? It's almost like they were anticipating trouble from the start.
This is what Annie Cristobal stated as well. No qualifying offer sent out to Chennedy Carter means she will be a free agent to test the market as an unrestricted free agent beginning tomorrow.
Now, Carter's agent is scrambling, trying to salvage her career. Picture this: phone calls flying left and right, desperate pitches to every team in the league. She's changed. She's learned her lesson. At least that's what they're saying. But it seems like nobody's buying it. It's like watching a high-stakes game of hot potato, and Carter's the potato that nobody wants to catch.
A lot of people and a lot of owners is not finna pick her up because of her attitude.
But hold on to your hats, because here's the real jaw dropper. Some teams are outright labeling Carter a locker room cancer. Ouch. That's not just a red flag. It's a giant glowing red banner with sirens blaring. In the world of professional sports, being tagged with that label is like having "do not sign" stamped across your forehead.
See that comment right there. Someone said, whoa, she must really had a bad attitude.
So now we're left with the million-dollar question. Is this really the end of Chennedy Carter's WNBA career? There's no denying her talent. It's undeniable. But let's be real. Talent only takes you so far when you're carrying a reputation like hers. It's like she's standing at the edge of a cliff, and instead of offering a hand, every team in the league is stepping further and further away.
Is the reason these ladies is potentially, allegedly, possibly about to get the biggest payday of their lifetime, with the NBA stepping in to help them get this new collective bargaining agreement potentially done. Then we got the media rights agreement done, which is like $3 or $2 billion. That money could possibly help them get larger contracts. And what Chennedy Carter put her filthy palms on Caitlin Clark did not help her case.
Exactly. The buzz around Caitlin Clark isn't just about her on-court performance. It's about the seismic shift she's creating across the entire league. Here's the deal. Her popularity is going through the roof, and it's not just the fans who are catching on. The big players at the WNBA are definitely paying attention now, and for a good reason. Clark is bringing in viewership like no one else, and that means more eyes on the game, more money flowing in, and a ton more opportunities for the entire league to grow and thrive. Why do the women in the WNBA hate Caitlin Clark?
It was a stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is, which is to elevate the WNBA brand.
Stephen A., I could actually argue that it hurts the game more if they had given her a roster spot over someone more deserving. Because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, okay, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, we're not putting the best team out.
If your only argument for Caitlin is that it would have been a great marketing opportunity and you don't have basketball experience or chemistry with the group listed in your reasoning, I don't want to hear it.
This is the most popular women's basketball player in the world.
Some of us felt like maybe she hadn't proved it in the WNBA, but at this point, she certainly has. So she proved everybody wrong.
What about the guards? Let's talk about the guards that did make it. Talk about the guards that did make it. How they play, Andrea? Because you were one of the ones that say she didn't earn it. How did the guards play that was in the Olympics? How did they play?
For sure, but we can't take how Caitlin finished the W season and pivot that to how she would have done in the Olympics. That's a completely different
All I'm
argument.
saying is, look at that point. Look at how she played up until that point. Chelsea Gray had only played one game before she went to the Olympics.
For what seems like forever, Angel Reese has been gunning for Caitlin Clark. It kicked off with that infamous John Cena "you can't see me move" and the ring finger taunt during the 2023 NCAA Championship. But that was just the opening act. Fast forward to the WNBA, and Reese cranked it up a notch by straight up smacking Clark on the dome without batting an eye. During the All-Star Weekend practice, Reese pulled off a miracle three right after Clark bricked hers. Instead of showing any sportsmanship, Reese went full-on celebration mode with everyone except Clark. acting like she didn't even exist. This isn't just rivalry anymore, folks. Whether you want to call it low-key bullying, passive-aggressive shenanigans, or straight-up mean girl tactics, it's crystal clear Reese has it out for Clark. Sure, when the cameras start rolling, Reese tries to play it cool. She's all, nah, me and Caitlin Clark aren't enemies or anything. She's been caught saying stuff like, I need everyone to get that it's just intense competition.
Like, me and Caitlin Clark don't hate each other. Like, I want everybody to understand that it's just a super competitive game, and like, I would just wish people realize that, like, once I get between those lines, it's no friends. People are just trying to make it seem like it's something, but I love Caitlin, I love her game, and I admire everything she's done.
But let's be real. Actions speak way louder than words, and Reese's actions are screaming a whole different story. Friday, August 30th, the stage was set for another Clark versus Reese showdown. But this wasn't just any old regular season matchup. This wasn't just any game. It was the inaugural Barbie-themed extravaganza hosted by the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese, aka Bayou Barbie, in college, and now Chi-Town Barbie in the Windy City, was supposed to be the poster child for the whole anything is possible vibe. The arena was drowning in pink, all set up for what should have been Reese's time to shine. And if that wasn't enough pressure, this was their final rookie face-off. Back in college, Angel had Caitlin's number, leading 4-1. But in the big leagues, Caitlin was ahead 2-1. This game was Caitlin's shot at a dominant 3-1 lead, or Angel's chance to even the score. Before the game even tipped off, Angel was oozing confidence. Sure, she had this one in the bag. She even showed up dressed as Dennis Rodman, striking poses and working it like a runway model before the first whistle. It was a spectacle that screamed, "This is my turf, and I'm about to run the show." Caitlin Clark? She was all business when she rolled into Wintrust Arena. No flashy entrance, no costume party, just a baller laser focused on the task at hand. The difference between the two couldn't have been more night and day. From the jump, Clark's intensity was off the charts. She came out guns blazing, stepping up her game big time. Caitlin Clark from downtown, nothing but net for her first long-range missile. But despite her best efforts, the Sky's supporting cast was on fire, raining threes like there was no tomorrow. At one point, the scoreboard read 21-9, and it looked like the Sky was about to turn this into a blowout. I bet in that moment, all Angel Reese could hear was the sweet sound of victory playing in her head. But here's the thing about Clark. She was locked in, remember? And as for the Sky's three-point barrage, well, their hot streak was about to go ice cold. The Fever started mounting a comeback with Clark leading the charge. By the time the first quarter wrapped up, we were looking at a nail-biting 26-23 game. Clark knew exactly what was up, so to kick off the second quarter, she casually drained a logo 3 like it was nothing, closing the gap even more. The announcer lost his mind.
The Fever, good ball movement on this possession. Logo shot! Logo make for Clark!
Clark kept pulling off jaw-dropping plays, even chatting it up with the crowd, playfully asking if her shots were good. Meanwhile, Reese was struggling so hard, it made that ESPN tweet about the top rookie look like a bad joke. If you think I'm exaggerating, just wait till you see how the rest of this game unfolded, because things only got better for Caitlin and way, way worse for Angel. As the third quarter kicked off, the Sky was getting desperate to shut Clark down, resorting to some shady tactics like not giving her a safe place to land. It was a risky move that could have ended badly, but Clark didn't even flinch. Reese, on the other hand, they were guarding her at the three-point line like she was the next coming of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Too bad for Reese. She's no Greek freak. The Fever made her pay in the paint, and when she tried to go on the attack, it was just fail after epic fail. Here comes Reese putting her head down. Oops, Butterfingers. By the time the third quarter wrapped up, it was clear as day. Caitlin was putting on a clinic, and Angel was having a night to forget. And remember, this was after Angel's whole Rodman cosplay and model routine before the game on Barbie Day in the Sky's own house. Clark had racked up an impressive 23 points and 9 dimes, while Reese was stuck at a measly 5 points and 7 boards. Then came the fourth quarter, where Clark continued to look like a superstar, while Reese and the Chicago Sky, let's just say they weren't exactly showing grace under pressure. When it came to pure hoops, Clark was in a league of her own. Whether she was draining shots or dishing out assists, Clark was unstoppable. The game got so lopsided, with the lead ballooning to 25 points, that Clark started tossing up shots you'd see in a game of horse. The Sky's frustration boiled over into some cheap shots. When Diamond DeShields collided with Clark, from one angle, it almost looked accidental, like she was trying to help her up afterward. But from another view, it was clear she was just whining to the ref, insisting it wasn't a foul. It was so blatant that even Deuce Bigalow himself, comedian Rob Schneider, chimed in, tweeting, "The fact this assault didn't get an immediate ejection from the ref means the WNBA needs to fire this zebra, overhaul the rulebook, and slap a hefty fine on this player for such a flagrant foul." For real, something's gotta give here. I mean, after that incident, a mind-blowing stat came to light. Apparently, 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA have been against Caitlin Clark, with the Chicago Sky. Yeah, Angel Reese's squad, responsible for a whopping 80% of them. Still think I'm reaching about Angel having it out for Clark? Anyway, not long after that drama, Caitlin Clark wrapped up her stellar performance with 31 points and 12 assists, gave the crowd a wave, and headed to the bench. And this is where things took a turn for the hilarious for the fans, but became absolutely mortifying for Angel Reese. With just under 4 minutes on the clock, Clark was living it up on the bench with her teammates. Meanwhile, what was Angel Reese up to? Well, with her team in a 27-point hole, Reese was still out there, desperately chasing a few extra points and rebounds to secure a double-double. Like a textbook stat patter, she stayed in the game just to inflate her numbers. It was beyond comical. Picture this. Caitlin's on the bench, laughing it up with her squad, busting moves, sipping on some Gatorade, while Angel Reese is out there on a mission to hit that double-double. I couldn't help but crack up. Let me paint this picture one more time. Caitlin Clark, chillin' on the bench, having the time of her life with her team, while ESPN's supposed frontrunner for Rookie of the Year is out there stat padding like her life depends on it. To add insult to injury, she even bricked back-to-back free throws. This set off a firestorm online, with fans going off, Angel Reese stat padding in a 27-point blowout with 3 minutes left against the Fever's bench players. I can't help but laugh. She had what, 5 points with 4 minutes left in the fourth? Now suddenly she's got a double-double? Others didn't hold back. While Caitlin Clark's out here winning games, Angel's disrespecting the sport with the most blatant stat padding I've ever witnessed, all to keep some streak going that only matters to her diehard fans. It's embarrassing. She ended up with 10 points, and half of those came after the Fever had already cleared their bench and were up by 30. For those of you who want the cold hard facts, I rewatched the game footage and dove into the play-by-play data. Caitlin Clark checked out with exactly 3 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth, her team up by 27. After that moment, here's what Angel Reese managed. 2 buckets, 1 out of 4 from the charity stripe, 2 rebounds, 1 offensive, 1 defensive, and 1 turnover. Her final stat line for the night, 10 points and 11 rebounds, shooting 4 for 9. But if you strip away the garbage time stat padding, her real numbers would have been a measly 5 points and 9 rebounds on 2 for 7 shooting. That's a brutal 28% from the field. Listen, after all the smack talk Reese aimed at Caitlin Clark during March Madness, that cheap shot earlier in the season, and the way she egged on her teammate after that near assault on Caitlin, this was Caitlin Clark's classy clapback. No trash talk, no disrespect. She just let her game do the talking, absolutely schooling Angel Reese on her home court, while vibing with the crowd in Reese's own backyard. Ladies and gents, we just witnessed the day Caitlin Clark utterly humiliated Angel Reese. But let's keep it 100. Caitlyn's game has been making everyone look silly, not just Angel. On September 15th, 2024, Caitlin Clark etched her name in WNBA history with a performance that left fans and analysts alike in awe. Facing the Dallas Wings, Clark surpassed Simone Augustus's WNBA rookie single-season scoring record, illuminating the court with a career-high 35 points. This electrifying display not only secured a nail-biting victory for the Indiana Fever, but also solidified Clark's position among the league's all-time greats. The game kicked off with Caitlin Clark controlling the ball, but it was Kelsey Mitchell who initiated the scoring, finding Nalissa Smith for a smooth layup. The Wings quickly answered as Natasha Howard cleaned up a missed shot, putting Dallas on the board. The energy in the building surged when Arike Ogunbowale made Kelsey Mitchell stumble before draining a three-pointer. Aaliyah Boston, not to be outdone, responded with a drive to the hoop for a layup. Satu Sabali kept the Wings' momentum going with a sharp three-pointer, but Nalissa Smith maintained the Fever's intensity with another layup. The back and forth continued with McCowan and Boston trading baskets inside. As the first quarter progressed, both teams showcased their offensive prowess. Natasha Howard hit a jumper, Awak Queer added a beautiful step back two, and Satu Sabali kept Dallas in the game with her own layup. The Wings' offensive onslaught continued with Arike Ogunbowale striking again, this time with a stunning step-back three-pointer. It was at this point that Caitlin Clark made her presence felt, knocking down her first three-pointer of the game. The clean shot had the crowd buzzing, a hint of the historic performance to come. Sabali, however, was quick to answer with another smooth three, showing no signs of backing down. The quarter ended with both teams locked in a competitive battle, the Wings holding a 34-26 lead over the Fever, but the stage was set for Clark's record-breaking night. As the second quarter began, Clark wasted no time, hitting a three-pointer to ignite Indiana's offense.
Challenge that Dallas has had all year. Clark catch and shoot and knocks down her second three. Very well executed for Caitlin Clark.
She was then fouled on another three-point attempt and calmly sank all three free throws, inching Indiana closer. Clark's relentless drive was evident as she circled around defenders for a jump shot, adding another 2 points to her tally. She followed it up by nailing another three-pointer, bringing the Fever within striking distance. Clark's playmaking abilities were on full display as she found Kelsey Mitchell with a bounce pass for a backdoor layup. As the second quarter came to a close, the Wings held on to a slim 59-57 lead, but Clark's impact was becoming increasingly apparent. The third quarter saw Clark finding her rhythm again, hitting a deep two-pointer. She then nailed a beautiful three-pointer, showcasing her scoring prowess once more. Clark's vision was evident as she set up teammates for scoring opportunities, even if not all of them were converted. But it was in the fourth quarter that Clark truly took over the game. She opened with a driving jump shot, followed by a layup. Then, in a display of sharp shooting that left the crowd in awe, she hit back-to-back three-pointers. After drawing a foul, Clark made all her free throws, demonstrating her composure under pressure. Clark's playmaking continued to shine as she found Erica Dantas for a beautiful corner three. As the game intensified, Clark remained unstoppable, hitting both of her free throws after another foul. When the final buzzer sounded, Caitlin Clark had amassed a career-high 35 points, leading the Indiana Fever to a thrilling 110-109 victory over the Dallas Wings. But more than just a win, this game marked a historic milestone in Clark's young career. With this performance, Clark broke the WNBA rookie single-season scoring record, surpassing the mark of 744 points set by Simone Augustus in 2006. Clark's 35-point outburst pushed her total beyond this benchmark, cementing her place in WNBA history. What makes this achievement even more remarkable is the context surrounding it. Clark entered the WNBA with immense hype and expectations following her record-breaking college career. The pressure to perform at the highest level immediately was enormous. Yet, not only has Clark met these expectations, she has exceeded them in spectacular fashion. This record-breaking performance wasn't just about the points scored. It was a showcase of Clark's complete game. Her ability to score from anywhere on the court, Her court vision in setting up teammates and her clutch performance in the game's crucial moments all contributed to this historic night. Moreover, this game highlighted Clark's impact beyond just her individual statistics. Her presence on the court elevates the entire Fever team, creating opportunities for her teammates and putting constant pressure on the opposing defense. The narrow victory over a strong Dallas Wings team underscores how crucial Clark's contributions are to the Fever's success. It's worth noting that this isn't the first time Clark has made headlines this season. Earlier in the year, she broke the WNBA's all-time single-season assist record, showcasing her exceptional playmaking abilities. Now, with this scoring record, Clark has demonstrated her well-rounded game and her ability to dominate on both ends of the floor. The fact that Clark is achieving these milestones as a rookie is nothing short of extraordinary. Many players take years to adapt to the speed and physicality of the WNBA game. Clark, however, has hit the ground running, playing with a confidence and skill level that belies her rookie status. This performance against the Dallas Wings wasn't just about breaking a record. It was a statement. Clark has put the entire league on notice that she's not just here to participate, she's here to dominate. Her ability to take over games, to make clutch plays when it matters most, and to consistently perform at an elite level has set a new standard for what we can expect from a rookie in the WNBA. As we look to the future, it's clear that this is just the beginning for Caitlin Clark. With her combination of scoring ability, court vision, and competitive drive, there's no telling what records she might break next. Will she challenge for the MVP award in her rookie season? Could she lead the Fever to a playoff berth? The possibilities seem endless. What's certain is that Caitlin Clark has already left an indelible mark on the WNBA. Her record-breaking performance is not just a personal achievement, but a milestone for the league as a whole. It represents the continuing evolution of women's basketball, with each generation of players pushing the boundaries of what's possible on the court. For fans of the game, Clark's emergence is a thrilling development. Her style of play, a mix of long-range shooting, creative passing, and fearless drives to the basket, is not just effective, it's entertaining. She's the kind of player who can bring new fans to the sport and keep them coming back for more. As we reflect on this historic night, it's clear that we're witnessing the rise of a generational talent. Caitlin Clark isn't just breaking records. She's redefining what we thought was possible for a WNBA rookie. With each game, each assist, and each bucket, she's writing a new chapter in the league's history. The 2024 WNBA season is far from over, and if this game is any indication, Caitlin Clark has plenty more in store for us. Will she continue to break records? Will she lead the Fever to new heights? One thing's for certain, the basketball world will be watching, eager to see what this phenomenal rookie does next. In conclusion, Caitlin Clark's record-breaking performance against the Dallas Wings is more than just a remarkable individual achievement. It's a glimpse into the future of women's basketball, a testament to the evolving skill level in the WNBA, and a moment that will be remembered for years to come. As Clark continues to shock the league, breaking record after record, one thing is clear: the Caitlin Clark era has officially begun, and it promises to be nothing short of spectacular.
Hate to keep bringing up the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark drama. It must be noted that Angel Reese is playing for Unrivaled. Caitlin Clark is not. The numbers are not great.
What happens when hype collides with reality? Angel Reese, who once confidently declared herself the face of women's basketball, is now facing a harsh truth.
Look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like just because of one single game. I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
The WNBA, a league that promised to transform the future of women's basketball, is already grappling with serious challenges.
It's here that we need to just realize Angel Reese is playing, and she's been very big on herself as being a massive draw. If that is in fact the truth, then why are people not watching with the same excitedness that they were watching Caitlin?
Despite placing Angel Reese at the center of its promotional campaigns, the WNBA is still struggling to attract viewers. This is the same Reese who spent an entire season touting her influence and impact on the game. Yet, where are the packed arenas? Where are the millions of viewers she promised to bring?
The boil on Caitlin Clark's ass, Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layup?
On the other hand, Caitlin Clark, who chose not to play in the unrivaled league, has inadvertently shown that Reese's narrative was nothing more than an overblown illusion.
It is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. If you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing.
Clark's absence has highlighted the league's shortcomings and exposed Reese's struggle to carry it on her own. Without Clark, the league's numbers are dismal, and fans are left unimpressed.
Cool new modernizations and this whole new league that was just built and is now making its debut. Fans aren't really buying into it as of this point. The games have averaged about 312,000 viewers across TNT and True TV, which is their broadcast partners.
In fact, many are beginning to see Reese for what she truly is, a player more focused on her glamour than her game. Stay tuned as we break down how Caitlin Clark's strategic decision to not participate has shattered the unrivaled league's image and left Angel Reese's inflated claims of being the reason people watch women's basketball in ruins.
Nobody is coming close to the power of the Caitlin Clark effect. Like, they're just not.
This is the story of basketball exposure and the undeniable power of Caitlin Clark. Let's dive in.
They released the first television numbers, TNT did, and they're bragging about it because, well, they're the best they've ever been.
When the unrivaled league was launched, it was hailed as the next big thing in women's basketball.
Rivaled is a 3v3 league. It is something for these women to do during the off season. And I didn't know. I didn't have expectations for what the numbers would look like, but I feel like seeing those, I feel like those are pretty good numbers. Now, are those numbers good enough to make this league a sustainable league year after year? That I'm not sure of.
A flashy, modernized alternative to the WNBA meant to keep players stateside during the off-season.
Those numbers, just to put into a little bit of perspective, while they seem like, okay, we've got over 312, when you put them in comparison to some of the WNBA numbers, specifically the WNBA numbers that featured Caitlin Clark playing in a game, they are actually very low.
Backed by high-profile investors such as Michael Phelps, Alex Morgan, and Ashton Kutcher, the league promised innovation with its 3-on-3 format, celebrity endorsements, luxury perks, and salaries higher than the WNBA average.
Unrivaled League has a lot of celebrity backing to it, which is great, right? So clearly with this type of investment, it means the players have the ability to get paid. And actually they are getting paid. They're making a ton more than they do in the WNBA, despite it only being, like I mentioned, a 9-week season.
Yet, all the hype couldn't hide the glaring issue. The league's success relied heavily on star power, and Caitlin Clark, the biggest draw in women's basketball, was nowhere to be found.
You and I both know, right? We both know. No Caitlin Clark, no watch. No Caitlin Clark in the league, no watch. Caitlin Clark's in that league viewership doubles, if not triple.
The numbers tell a harsh truth. Despite Unrivaled's claims of strong viewership, the debut games averaged only about 312,000 viewers. To put that into perspective, Caitlin Clark's rookie WNBA games consistently drew over 2 million viewers.
I saw highlights of it, or lowlights of it, and I gotta tell you, it's really bad. Watching 5-on-5 women is bad enough, but 3-on-3 women, worse.
These numbers didn't just break records, they shattered them and captured national attention. Even games that Caitlin Clark wasn't directly involved in experienced a significant ratings boost, proving just how powerful her influence is on fans.
The Clark effect led to WNBA games that didn't even feature Clark drawing an average of 400,000 viewers. It's the Caitlin Clark effect.
The Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game, 2.3 million. Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever, 2.25 million. Fever versus the Storm, 2.2 million. Sun versus the Fever, 2.1 million. Okay, so you understand what I'm saying.
Without Caitlin Clark, the Unrivaled League's viewership barely exceeded last year's WNBA averages, despite all the celebrity buzz and media support. Angel Reese, who had positioned herself as the face of the new league, has struggled to meet the expectations she set for herself. Reese had boldly claimed that she was one of the main reasons people were tuning into women's basketball, but the numbers haven't backed that up.
These are all numbers over 2 million. So, would the Unrivaled League benefit greatly from the Caitlin Clark effect? I think without a doubt, we all know the answer to that is resoundingly yes.
If Angel Reese's star power is truly as influential as she claims, where's the evidence? Why hasn't she been able to draw the same massive crowds that Caitlin Clark did? Instead, viewers are tuning out, and the league's glamorous perks, like the Miami setting, luxury apartments, and even a Sephora-sponsored glam room, are starting to feel more like distractions from the lack of actual basketball excitement.
We know that the WNBA numbers with her and versus the numbers in the WNBA without her also have a major gap. And this really makes us realize the power of Caitlin Clark, the appeal of Caitlin Clark.
Basketball isn't about hype, glitz, or glamour. It's about skill, performance, and the ability to captivate an audience. Without Caitlin Clark, the Unrivaled League feels incomplete, struggling to justify its existence. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into how Clark's decision not to join the league didn't just elevate her own brand, but also sent Angel Reese and the Unrivaled League spiraling into mediocrity.
People thought there was great momentum. People thought Angel Reese could draw. No, nobody wants to watch Angel Reese. Come on.
While Angel Reese spends plenty of time on social media and cultivating her Barbie persona, her on-court impact has been minimal. Missed layups, lackluster defense, and a seeming inability to elevate her team have only underscored her limitations as a player. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's absence looms large over the league. By sitting out, Clark has inadvertently exposed the harsh reality behind the Unrivaled League's struggles.
If I'm the Unrivaled League, I go back to Caitlin Clark and say, what do you need? And then I give it to her. But Caitlin Clark seems beyond that, and that adds to her popularity.
Blowouts and sloppy performances have become all too common, with even marquee players struggling to adjust to the 3-on-3 format. Angel Reese's performances, in particular, have failed to impress, further highlighting the league's shortcomings.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest draw in women's basketball, and without her, many fans just aren't going to tune in.
The flaws of the Unrivaled League go beyond just ratings. The gameplay itself has faced heavy criticism for being inconsistent and, at times, downright unwatchable.
For Caitlin Clark, this was a great choice. She was not taking part in the debut season of Unrivaled. We've heard of Unrivaled. It's a new league. It's an option for WNBA players rather than going overseas. They can play here.
What's even more striking is Caitlin Clark's strategic brilliance. By choosing to sit out the Unrivaled League, she distanced herself from a struggling organization, preserving her reputation while simultaneously increasing her value.
For the first time ever, they have a superstar in this league that not only has the ability to draw a mainstream audience, she also has the ability to play actual basketball.
2 years ago, their home attendance was 1,800 fans. Their average this year, home attendance, is 17,000. That's almost 10 times. And, of course, the big difference is Caitlin Clark. I think she should be up for MVP.
The league's underwhelming debut without her has made one thing clear. Caitlin Clark is the heart of women's basketball. No other player, not even Angel Reese, has the same level of influence or impact.
If you're one of the dozens of fans in the WNBA, it is only going to get worse from here.
Angel Reese's attempt to position herself as the face of the sport has backfired spectacularly.
The addiction is real. The addiction to attention is real.
While Reese may have the glam and the attitude, Clark has the stats, the game, and the undeniable ability to elevate women's basketball to new heights. Reese's bold claims about being the reason for the sport's rising popularity have been exposed as exaggerated, if not outright false, when compared to Clark's tangible results.
I know the mainstream media wants us to believe that the WNBA is surging in popularity. I know analysts like Monica McDougal at ESPN. They want us to recognize elite layup missers and failed dunkers. But what Casey has been telling you guys all season been, it has been true. What I have said countless times over the past few months, it is finally being proven without a shadow of a doubt. Caitlin Clark is a megastar. Caitlin Clark is a box office draw, while the rest of the WNBA, it is nothing but a polished turd.
Reese built her brand on bold declarations and a larger-than-life persona. During her NCAA run, she embraced the villain role and claimed to be the driving force behind women's basketball's increased popularity. Statements like, "People watch women's basketball because of me," painted a picture of someone who believed her influence was on par with, or even greater than, Clark's. However, the unrivaled league has put those claims to the test, and the results have been far from flattering. The numbers are unforgiving. Reese's presence in the unrivaled league was supposed to draw viewers, fill seats, and ignite excitement, yet the league struggled to break 32,000 average viewers during its opening weekend. Worse still, games featuring Reese didn't generate the buzz expected from someone claiming to be the face of the sport. In contrast, Caitlin Clark's rookie season brought in millions of viewers per game, even when she wasn't playing. The disparity is glaring, proving that while Reese may talk a big game, it's Clark who consistently delivers.
Caitlin Clark has a lot going on right now. She just turned 23 years old. She obviously had a monster rookie season. Time named her Athlete of the Year. She's got a boyfriend. She's got Taylor Swift as her new bestie. She wants to hang out.
Let's break this down further. Angel Reese has been vocal about her impact on women's basketball, but her on-court performance hasn't lived up to that narrative. In the unrivaled league, her play has been lackluster, with missed layups and a noticeable lack of energy on both sides of the ball. Instead of focusing on improving her game, Reese has spent more time perfecting her social media presence and embracing a Barbie persona, leaving her basketball skills behind. This has sparked growing criticism, even among her own fans, who are starting to see through the glamorous image she's built. Basketball, at its core, is about skill and results, not just a polished Instagram feed. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's decision not to join the unrivaled league has only cemented her position as the sport's ultimate power player. Her absence has laid bare the league's dependence on her star power. Without her, the league feels incomplete, like a concert missing its headliner. On the other hand, the WNBA saw a huge spike in ratings when Clark joined the league, with her games consistently setting viewership records. Her ability to deliver unforgettable performances, combined with her humble yet confident attitude, has made her a magnet for fans and media alike.
The pre-game show, post-game show, it felt like all of those were put in place as like a marketing tool for the play on the court, and it was just overwhelming praise. But we don't need to, like during the games, just be constantly praising and not calling out certain things like regular play-by-play commentary.
Angel Reese, on the other hand, positioned herself as the next big star in women's basketball, boldly claiming to be the face of the sport. She boasted about her ability to fill arenas and draw in fans. However, the reality is far from what she had envisioned. In the unrivaled league, her games have failed to generate the same excitement and attention that Caitlin Clark consistently brings. Despite the celebrity endorsements and flashy marketing, the league's viewership numbers have not come close to the ratings Caitlin Clark's games achieved in the WNBA. Reese's name alone has not been enough to sustain fan interest, and her on-court performances haven't done much to back up her bold claims either.
Caitlin Clark's star is only going to shine brighter because she handles herself with grace and class.
To truly understand the stark contrast between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, we need to look at their impact both on and off the court. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon. Her ability to electrify a game and draw in audiences goes beyond basketball itself. From her NCAA days at Iowa to her historic rookie season in the WNBA, Clark has consistently shattered records. She became a household name, with fans tuning in just to watch her play, even those who weren't avid followers of women's basketball. Her rookie games consistently drew over 2 million viewers, proving that she is the driving force behind the sport's rising popularity.
What happens when hype meets reality? Angel Reese, a player who boldly claims she was the face of women's basketball, is facing the harsh truth in the unrivaled league. The league, which promised to revolutionize women's basketball, is already struggling.
Reese's struggles go beyond just viewership numbers. Her on-court performances in the unrivaled league have done little to support her self-proclaimed status as a superstar. Missed layups, lackluster defense, and an apparent lack of improvement have drawn sharp criticism from both fans and analysts. While Caitlin Clark is known for consistently working to elevate her game, Reese seems more focused on maintaining her Barbie image than improving her basketball skills. This has only fueled the narrative that Reese is more about flash than substance, a stark contrast to Clark's relentless work ethic and undeniable talent. The glamour and perks of the unrivaled league have become a double-edged sword for Reese. From Sephora-sponsored glam rooms to luxury apartments in Miami, the league aimed to modernize women's basketball. However, this emphasis on luxury has inadvertently highlighted Reese's weaknesses. While players like Clark let their game speak for itself, Reese's reliance on the league's glamour to boost her brand has backfired. Fans are starting to question if Reese is more invested in her image than in becoming a true basketball icon. Caitlin Clark's absence has further magnified Reese's shortcomings. Without Clark in the league, the lack of star power is painfully obvious. Reese was expected to step into that role, but she's failed to deliver. Even her most loyal fans can't ignore the growing contrast between her bold words and underwhelming performances. On the other hand, Clark's decision to sit out has been a masterstroke. It has allowed her to preserve her mystique, elevate her value, and expose the unrivaled league's inability to thrive without her.